You all, we are not licensed professionals. You know, we are just here on this roller coaster called life, trying to be better friends to one another, trying to be better human beings on this planet. If you're tuning in, we are not opting out of therapy. We are not advocating that you listen to us and not see someone who is licensed and trained to help you with day-to-day life on how to cope and deal. So we advocate for therapy a lot here. We believe that everyone has something to talk to somebody about. So, just like to make that disclaimer that we're just here giving our opinions and having discussions week by week. And we're hoping that, you know, maybe you can find something useful, or if at least find a little humor in this terrible, terrible rock we call the world.
In other words, if you listen to our advice and you get popped in the mouth, don't at us.
Yeah, don't at me because you may get popped in the mouth again.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Friendship University podcast. I am Miki, joined by my sensational host, Kristen.
Oh, well,
the big Birkin bag Balenciaga. What's that one called? Teflon
Dawn?
Teflon the Dawn?
Or Teflar?
What's Teflar?
The black-owned luxury bag brand. Well, yeah.
Teflons, yeah.
Teflar.
Teflon. We're saying the same thing.
I don't know what Teflon the Don I think is a person.
That's Polo the Don, girl.
Ain't Teflon the Don somebody too?
I don't know.
I feel like I heard that somewhere in the hood.
But anyway, see money, all the money to my left over here. How you doing, girl?
I'm here.
Wow.
It's been a long day.
We swapped places.
We did. I mean, I'm good. I'm still blessed and highly favored. I've just had a long day of having to hand several people their butt cheeks over and over and over again. And, you know, I think I've said this before. I'm really gentle with customer service workers, you know, and people who are in the service industry. I've been in the service industry for many years before. I know what it's like. You just don't treat people rude anyway, whether regardless. But I had to pull I need to talk to someone above you, and I had to pull that about 4 different times. So I got to the head honcho to get to the solution of where we could go from here. So, but outside of that, I also had some personal things that I was dealing with today. So I'm pretty, you know how you're not in a bad space per se. You're not really like sleepy. I'm just tired mentally. My mind's just kind of tired.
Yeah, I get that. It's been like the past. What's that for? 26 going on 27 years. It's been tired. Generational tired.
It's been a day. Normally I can really regulate it, but I don't know today. Today was just a lot. It's just been an emotional day.
I feel that.
Spent some time with the Lord this morning. And, so.
I'm sorry to hear that, friend. I know it's been a little bit of rough waters over here for, you know, these past few months for yourself. Of course, I'm always here for you, and I love you. And, you know, we can rock some heads if we got to.
I'm hoping I do not have to call the Goon Squad, but I don't think so.
I told you. We can roll up to Nissan. I told you. We can roll. We were walking out there with a Tesla.
It wasn't even just Nissan that I had to have some butt cheeks to. I'm just like, people really are pushing it. I had to handle some deep, direct messages from some people. So I went to an event a couple of weeks ago for a friend and ran into some people that I hadn't seen in a really long time. And I guess they felt like that sparked the need to have to try to re-enter my life. And if you hear what sounds like gusts of wind or cars, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Hear a bunch of
these microphones pick up everything.
They're picking up all the cars on the street right now. So my house is relatively close to a very main street, very busy street. So Yeah, I just had to let people know, like, I'm not interested in reconnecting with you.
Period. So that's it. That is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. How are you, though?
Melanated.
Melanated.
Thanks for asking.
Happy Black History Month. How many more days we got? What's that? We got 8 more days. I guess
Something
next
like
week. Next week, I guess we could do like a Black History Month episode to cap it off for the end of the month. Yeah.
Well, our topic will be why you should have more black friends.
Yeah.
But no, I'm good. All things considered, honestly, I had a pretty good day. I got my hair redone. My lock journey.
Your locks are growing quite nicely.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Got a haircut, and then just really did a bunch of nothing. I'm, of course, taking advantage of this alleged holiday. I don't know who had the idea that we should celebrate the president. I mean, it's just a job, but I'll enjoy the day off.
Does the president actually work? Does the president work on President's Day? Is it like an off day for them?
I think it's a government holiday. So, does the president ever take off?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I feel like he's like a nurse. He's on call.
I know that the president can take holidays because they can travel and stuff like that. Like they're not always at the White House or on. Maybe.
But yeah, this weekend was really low key. Honestly, I was mentally kind of in a funk, but I've been taking some advice from my therapist, who has now switched from like gentle pushing to just flat out like, this is what the fuck you got to do.
Miguel said we've been in this thing long enough.
Enough. He openly said like, I see like I have to be a little for lack of a better term, harsher with you. And I was just like, yeah. It worked though, because I finished a whole book in 1 week.
Woo!
Mind you, the book is only like 16 chapters, and each chapter is like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 pages.
You did it.
But I did
Don't
it.
minimize your accomplishments.
It's this book called The Art of Happiness. It was written by who was it? Who was his name? Don't ask me the person right now. We'll post it inside the description below. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's a really quick read. Really helped me start to look at the world in a little bit of a different way, or more so expanded the way I already looked at the world to an extent. So shout out to my therapist per usual, who's getting me on the right track.
Did he recommend the book?
He recommended something adjacent to the book. So he basically recommended that like I find some kind of faith of some kind, either in like myself or like an entity or a religion or something like that. Something I can just like feel safe within. And I already pretty much like studied Buddhism a good bit before we met, and in my early 20s. So he's like, you should definitely look more into that and like, maybe see where it leads you. So I picked up this book. It's called The Art of Happiness. Again, I don't remember who writes it. I feel like I know the answer, but I also feel like I'm wrong for some reason.
I'm acting like I'm not here.
You could just Google it.
I was about to say I could just do this real quick. This month?
That one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's it written by?
The Dalai Lama.
Okay. So I see the problem where I was coming into.
But
it is written by the Dalai Lama.
C. Cutler, MD.
Right. So it's written by the Dalai Lama. The reason I was kind of second guessing myself with that, because I was like, isn't the Dalai Lama dead? But I think the Dalai Lama is actually passed along. Like, I think it's something that multiple people have held that title.
I think we're on like in the teens now.
Right. So something about my head, I was like, something seems wrong about that. But anyway, it's written by the Dalai Lama. As people know, he's kind of like the vocalist / I don't want to say figurehead because that doesn't sound correct, but like, he's the one who really pushes those like Buddhist teachings and stuff. And then
Dalai Lama, they're the highest spiritual leader.
There you go.
The country of Tibet.
And then the other guy you named, who I'm also forgetting, he is a psychiatrist. So it's like a spiritual / psychological dive into like, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to like live a life? And like, what is suffering and how to alleviate yourself from suffering and stuff like that. So, it's really impactful for me. I would definitely recommend picking it up. Like I said, really short read. It's a really easy read. Like they don't really go super over the top with the concepts. Like I feel like most people can understand it. You may not jive with everything. There were some parts where I was like, but
I think you're underestimating yourself.
For the most part, I really enjoyed it.
For how many pages you actually read?
How many pages is it?
I think it was over 200.
Oh. Okay, so to be fair, I didn't read the book. I listened to the book.
Oh, well, yeah, still.
But yeah,
still a read.
Good book.
Good book. I've heard of that book. I may pick it up.
Definitely recommend it. I'll give you access to my Audible. You can listen to it.
Oh, excellent.
I have a lot of books on Audible, believe it or not.
Do you have a account?
I do. I have at the time I shared an account with somebody else, and they had a habit of just buying a bunch of books because I already had Amazon, and they just wanted it for the books, and I was like, you can just use my account for Audible or whatever, and they just bought a bunch of books. So I just have I have access to a lot of books that I have not read, but maybe I'll check them out.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been trying to get more into Audible books. Since I listen to a lot of podcasts and talk shows and stuff, I feel like I should be able to listen to books. And I've listened to a couple. Some went better than others. It's just for me, there's a feeling I get when I hold a physical book in my hand. It's just kind of
I get it. I'm a little bit of a different learner. Like, for me to learn something and really retain it, either I need to see it, or I need to hear it. Like, I can read the same description or whatever 16 times and I will forget it, or it's just not going to click. This is why I sucked at actual grade school or whatever, because everything's written out and you have to read a chapter and you have to retain the information. I'm just I feel like I just read 4 chapters and I don't remember any of that.
I think the kids have it easier now though.
True, the iPad generation. But yeah, overall I'm doing pretty good. Just been taking it easy, honestly, and enjoying my book, which is something I never thought I would ever say.
Look at you.
Growth.
Now we can read together.
Oh,
yay.
No. This is probably the only book I read this year.
I don't believe that. We're in February. You cannot say something like that. I don't believe that at all.
Okay,
You
well.
have 10 more months.
Okay.
I can see you totally reading another book or two. We can even read fantasy. Something like superhero.
So you want to read a comic book?
Or them novels that are based on they're their own entity. They've made true stories into
we'll see.
Comic is.
We'll see how many books get read this year.
I think we should start a book club.
Okay. Well, the Friendship University Book Club. I mean, sure, knock yourself out. So yeah, I guess we have now started a book club. That's something new. So Kristen or I will post our book recs of the month on Instagram. Yeah. It'll primarily be Kristen because I'm not reading any fucking books. But yeah, that's cool. Let's do that.
Yeah.
New segment, book of the month.
Book of the month, and we'll discuss it. Maybe we'll take a vote.
Then just like that, we have a new segment.
Here.
But yeah, we're back again for another week of the Friendship University podcast. If you don't know, now you know. We come here. I'm sorry, Friendship University podcast. Okay, pull it back now. We come here about every week, more or less, depending on my mental state. So
we do what
they
we
sometimes
can.
can skip.
What we got.
We do what we can, what we got. Each week we, come on this podcast and deep dive into different topics about friendships and how to maintain them between, do you want to fuck your friend? And, maybe your friend's a bad traveler. Throwback to our very first episode.
Maybe they're not your friend at all.
Maybe they're not your friend at all. Maybe they take wooden nickels. So we're here again. And today's episode is going to be a movie review and a deep dive of the friendship dynamics in, honestly, the motion picture of the past decade, in my opinion. It's wild. So we'll be talking about Sissy, which is a Shudder original, I believe.
Yeah, so I actually just learned about Shudder as someone who loves horror and suspense and stuff. It was kind of interesting that I had never heard that there was an app specifically dedicated to content that falls into those genres. So I'm really excited to see what they have to offer with this, free trial.
The 7-day right. Okay. The 5 days we have left. I will say I heard of Shudder when it first came out, which was when I was in high school at some point.
Jeez,
I think.
a long time.
Maybe. It might have been a little bit after that. But I thought it just died because no one talked about it. I thought it was kind of went the route of I was going to say Tubi, but people out here actually watching Tubi. Well, you know what
though? Tubi is blowing up now though.
That's true.
So maybe Shudder's blowing up because something's happening with social media. I'm here for Tubi.
Fair.
We're going to start. That's going to be another segment. Tubi movie of the month.
Good luck with that one. But yeah, so just to give you guys a little premise of the movie, it follows the relationship between these two young girls, who allegedly were friends back in the day.
Allegedly for the first 13 years of their lives.
Right, first 13 years of their lives. They're best friends or whatever, but one of the two girls' names are Cecilia, and then there is Sissy.
Emma calls her Sissy.
Emma calls her Sissy, and then Emma's the other friend.
Mm-hmm.
In their younger age, they had the kind of dynamic where it's like, okay, we're friends behind closed doors, but like in person, you're not really fucking with me, like you're not really associating with me, kind of thing.
I think that only happened when you bring up who came in. I don't think that was the truth until old girl, the popular girl.
No. I mean, at the end, they kind of like she talked about it, where it's like we're jumping again.
Yeah.
So anyway, Emma was definitely giving like the "oh my god, I love you, girl," and then like when the third mutual quote unquote friend would come through, she'd be like, fuck you, sissy,
okay,
girl, you ain't shit.
Now, mind you, this third girl, Alex, is her name. She's a bully. So not only is she like, nah, sissy girl, I'm not fucking with you.
Like she actively torments this
like,
girl.
Sissy the sissy.
Right.
Sissy, come on, sissy the sissy. And we see who the sissy is in it.
So through relentless bullying, and I get it, I sympathize with old girl to an extent because I've been bullied in my younger years. She snaps and,
injures the girl.
She jabs a garden
tool
into her face.
Right
into her face.
Listen very carefully. We do not promote retaliation, okay? So,
girl, fuck that. Get vengeance. Because when you start going to therapy when you're old...
Listen. No. Because it sounds...
Get vengeance.
No.
Get vengeance because...
the Lord's, let's say the Lord. So
let me tell you.
You fine.
I went to therapy, and now all I need to do to complete my healing is to seek vengeance.
No, you're going to get it through... Let me tell you something. You're not going to feel the way you feel forever. Trust me. You thought you were going to feel the way you used to feel forever, and you're changing. So you're going to continue to change.
After my enemies have been crushed underneath the weight of my boot, I will no longer feel that way. You're absolutely right. Just want y'all to know, I'm coming for you. Anyway, so back to the movie. So Sissy retaliates, of course, being bullied as a child.
And
like
she's
it's
a child.
lot. Like they're children.
Well,
they're children.
I'm going to say this. I felt some kind of way because at 12, 13, you are still kind of in a situation where you do know right from wrong, but you'll test the limits. But you know when a sharp object is going to harm someone.
Because she did it on purpose.
Exactly. So I get it, but I don't think she got... We'll talk about that. But yeah, she didn't get the help she needed. Let's just say that. Right.
So stabs her in the face or whatever. Time flashes forward. The two close girls are not as close anymore.
They don't talk at all.
They don't talk. Yeah, they don't talk anymore.
Haven't seen each other in 15 years?
Don't follow each other on Instagram. None of that. They run into each other at the store, and so happens that Emma, the friend who would join in on the bullying, was like, "Oh my god, I'm getting married. I'm having a getaway thing for me to celebrate my relationship. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm going to invite you. Please come."
Right. For you to come, and then she finds out that what's her name, Cecilia, is a mental health advocate online. So she has about 200,000 followers. She does meditation and all these affirmations to help people feel like they're enough and they're loved and they're seen.
She's basically a TikTok therapist, the ones who be spouting out the same thing you hear in therapy, thinking it applies to everybody.
A mental health influencer, pretty much. Instead of stones, she uses ropes. So instead of surrounding herself with stones or beads or whatever, she puts ropes around herself to create her invisible barrier.
What side note? People on the internet, please stop being online therapists to beat these people. Like, unless you are a trained therapist, you don't need to be telling these people things. Don't go to therapy and come back on TikTok and be like, you don't find love because da 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 da. Girl, leave these people alone.
I get where some people come from, where they're just like, listen, I'm not a trained professional. These are just things that have helped me, and I want, because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't want to feel like they're alone in their grief or whatever they're going through. So it's all about creating community sometimes for people. So the people who aren't like, oh, well, my therapist said this, and you should get out and put your feet in some grass for your serotonin levels, and you should go for a walk, and all of these different things like that. Keep it, Susan. But the people who are just like, listen, I'm going through a rough time. You may be going through a rough time too. Here's some things that help me. You could try it if you want, or not, or just know like you're loved. I'm not opposed to that for sure.
That's fair.
That's kind of what she was doing a little bit, even though she was faking.
She was faking because she's batshit crazy. Anyway, back to the plot. So, Emma invites Sissy / Cecilia, they're the same person by the way, to the getaway.
Yeah, she said, "Girl, I'm not Sissy anymore. Cecilia now."
Okay, I'm a woman.
A woman.
So they go up to the cabin or whatever the hell you want to call it, and dun dun dun, the bully girl is also there.
And no. Let's take a pause right there. The bully girl's not just there; it's her parents' vacation home.
That's true.
So, in between because she invites her to her bachelorette party first, which is the night before, and then they leave for the cabin the next day. In between that 48 hours, whatever, Emma does not tell Cecilia or Alex that either one of them are going to be there, which I think is pretty messed up because you have someone who I have trauma with because I feel like they literally tried to murder me, and you're bringing it into my home, and then you have another girl who
is crazy.
Snapped because this girl was bullying her. You never in your mind thought to like shoot a text, make a phone call, anything. You just thought we was gonna be running through the roses. Yeah,
I'm not gonna hold you, Emma. Girl, you are raggedy for that. Like she really was like, it'll be fine. No one's gonna care.
And then they get there, and Alice is like, she pulls Emma out. She's like, what the fuck is she doing here? She's like, I didn't think she would actually come. And I'm like,
why would you invite her? See, this is what I'm not doing. I'm not doing pity invite nothings. I'm not doing pity because then you going to follow up on her and be like, oh my god, no girl, I didn't invite you nowhere.
Emma was a people pleaser, and so she was just saying what people wanted to hear.
So they end up at the house, right? The two girls meet up again after old girl jabbed a garden hoe through her fucking face back in the day, and violence and conflict ensue. Not going to spoil the entire movie, but let's just say that everyone dies except for. What's her name? Cecilia.
Well, girl, that's it. We may as well deep dive into it.
We ain't gotta talk about every single thing. Okay, one of the friends gets scalped. One of them gets pushed off a cliff.
Cecilia. Okay. Technically, she does try to attempt to murder all 5 people, but she only successfully murders 3 of them. But the other 2 do die.
And they'll never know bouncing back.
So I want to start with Emma because Emma gives me major like I'm in my own bubble, whatever I want. And I know people like this, and I know you girls like to tussle, so we can fight. Actually, I'm not the person on Instagram that says don't fight me. We can actually fight. But I know people get in their cocoons when they feel like it's their day and I just want everything my way. It's my birthday. It's my wedding.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to.
And don't get me wrong. You can ask any one of my friends. I am there for you. Whatever you need, it is your day. But Emma was just really giving like, I don't give a damn about nobody else. How do you not think in your mind to have a conversation with someone about this? Like, if you invited someone to my home who literally not only physically scarred me, because she has a huge gash on her face from being,
stabbed,
with
a garden hoe,
but also mental distress because Alex personally feels like Cecilia was trying to kill her.
Which I get.
Which I can understand.
I get it.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't really like Alex. I thought she was just being a bitch, but
she is a bitch through the whole movie.
But I get why she is, though. I would also be a bitch to someone who stabbed me in the face with a garden hoe.
No, you didn't learn your lesson though, because I say this all the time. Like, I'm not gonna fuck with a bitch with the ability to give me a face scar or has a face scar. So like, cause you ain't got nothing to lose if you willing to freak somebody's moneymaker up like that, and you still were taunting her 15 years later. If she did that at 13, what do you think she would be capable of as a full-fledged adult?
True.
So, like, girl, Alex is, like, taunting her, still trying to, like, out her and make her feel this way. And granted, like, here's the thing. I think Cecilia did somewhere believe some of the things she was saying, just out of the fact that she wanted to be accepted. I don't think it was a full-on act. When she was apologizing to Alex, I felt like she just wanted to gather peace. She just wanted the peace because Emma was her friend and she was just trying to bury the hatchet. And Alex is the one who was like, nah, man, fuck that. I hate when people play on my phone. And then it was just like...
I'll get back to Cecilia because I have opinions on her. But I do want to focus on Emma and something very specific about her. The whole... I mean, this happens a lot in childhood, but it probably happens in adulthood too because y'all bitches are childish. But the whole, like, we're buddy, we're best friends, and I love you, girl, on one day. But then when the people show, when the eyes are on you, you're like, ha ha, fuck that bitch, fucking hater. So two-faced bitches. This one goes out to you bitches out here.
You better be the same person.
You got
day and night.
Okay. You truly like. You can't be talking all that cash shit in my face, and the next minute you out here trying to just bully me and make me feel this type of way.
All this stuff. This is what I have always paid attention to, the way people talk about me or talk to me about other people who they say they're friends. Because if you come to me and you're talking cash shit about this person who you say you're super close to and that's your friend, you ain't never said none of this to them. They don't know how you feel. You just saying all this to me. I know you talking about me behind my back.
You got to.
And it's not to say that you can't, if you have friend dynamics, because I have friend groups where, okay, I'll talk to this person about this person, but the same stuff I'm talking to that person about, I'm saying it to the person who I may or may not have the issue with.
Right.
So,
yeah, no,
we ain't doing that. Emma was all like, at first, like, I didn't think she was gonna come, and it was just like a pity invite, and I didn't even remember I invited her to Alex, to then talking to Alex and being like, well, you just need to let it go, and you're just like holding on to this, and like, what she said was not false though, because she said you're acting like you're the victim, but you were bullying her. Which is a fair statement.
Sure.
Like, to tell, it's a tough thing to say to your friend because your friend always wants to make you feel like you're on their side. But like,
and yes, I fully agree that if you're getting bullied, you should stab them in the face with a garden hoe.
No.
I think that's appropriate in my opinion.
It's not appropriate at all. Do not use any kind of violence whatsoever to retaliate. But
which is crazy because I just read the Buddhist book. But
okay,
like I said, I agreed with some of the things he said, not all of them. But yeah, no, Emma, she definitely, I don't think she's doing it maliciously. I think she's a people pleaser. That's it. That's really what it is. She's a people pleaser.
She really is a people pleaser.
So
she'll say whatever she needs to say in the
to
moment.
Fit in.
Yeah, to fit in.
To not have to, disturb the peace.
She's passive aggressive. Yep. She don't want to disturb the peace. She don't like a confrontation.
Right.
But girl, you got all the confrontation.
Oof. Boy, did she. So that does lead me into the whole Alex thing and how I feel about her feelings. So again, Alex is the girl who was bullying her in her younger years and then got stabbed in the face with a garden hoe. How to put this properly? So I have a few different feelings. Different feelings here. I fully understand where she's coming from because I can't imagine what it was like to be stabbed in the face with a garden hoe as a child. May you be bullying or not, that is some traumatic shit.
Man, what?
Like, you were never going to forget that. And you have a scar on your face because of it. You have to look at every day. Like, every day you have to look at that thing and be like, damn, there was a garden hoe in my face. Which I will say hoe as much time as possible.
I think it was actually just a small shovel.
I'm going to call it a garden hoe. So anyway, so being stabbed in the face with a garden hoe. And then, like, people say move on in your adulthood and stuff like that. As someone who's been bullied and things like that, I get how hard it is to let go of things. Like, yes, she was being very antagonistic. Like, she definitely was pushing buttons and she definitely was holding a grudge from when she was younger, which, I mean, I get it. Because same, if I had to have a chance to have dinner or have someone at my house from my younger years, it would be on site.
It was messed up for her to be there. It was.
It was fucked up.
that would have caught anybody mentally off guard.
Right. Even if she did kind of heal from it, like just having that sprung on you, like, okay.
And this is like supposed to be time with me to celebrate my best friend and their fiance before you get married.
Right.
And have this tremendous weekend planned.
And you ain't seen this girl in 14 years.
And I ain't seen this girl. Yeah. It's like, I don't even think about her. I haven't had to think about her. Haven't had to see her. And you just gonna spring this? That just, that's not cool, man.
And my other feeling about her is, like, how to put it properly? I think she genuinely, like, did care about, you know, Emma and stuff like that. I don't think she was, like, a fake friend or whatever. No. I think she just did not vibe well with Cecilia and, you know, pushed it way too far. As someone who's been bullied, I get it. Sometimes you really just want to stab someone in the face with a garden hoe. But I don't think, like, that changed her relationship with Emma. Like, I feel like she just was like, see, Emma, look, I was right. She is fucking insane or whatever.
But that was which, by the way, silly.
It is silly.
Your kids, though.
The kids. Which, by the way, I feel like you forgot, but there are 2 other friends in this movie, and a whole wife.
I'm about to get to all 3 of them.
There's 3 whole other characters that we can figure out about.
Get to them. We got some time. We're gonna get to those 3 other individuals because I got some thoughts on all 3 of them as well.
But that does bring me to Cecilia, obviously our main character. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I didn't know what this movie was about. Like, I didn't look up anything about it. Our mutual friend was like, "We're just gonna watch it," and I was like,
"Yeah, cool." I didn't either. It just told me it was great. Like, it was just going to be a whole bunch of twists.
Right. Which whenever there's a story about, like, the third person or the extra person being invited to the cabin, it's always about them getting murked by everyone in the cabin.
Yeah.
Plot twist, it was the other way around.
Okay.
She murked everybody else in the cabin. She needs help.
She needed help. I could tell at the beginning of the film that she had not properly healed because she was doing all this mental health guru type of, you know, channels and videos and meditation and with all of these followers she had cultivated, but it really was just a serotonin hit for her to feel like she was included. Because you look at her life after she films the video, her apartment is in disarray.
Right.
She's eating cold pizza every night and just watching these films and all this stuff, not interacting with anyone. She doesn't go out. She stays at home all the time.
Oh my God, I'm Cecilia.
So, I mean, you're not online, like, preaching that.
Girl, I get 20 likes on Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, people love me. I feel validated. I'm Cecilia. Cecilia is me. I'm her.
Yes. So I could tell right off the bat, okay, this girl is like just doing this because she still doesn't feel like she was accepted for who she was. And then when they run into each other and I see how happy she was to see, honestly, what I thought, and I still kind of borderline think this, I think she was in love with Emma. I think Cecilia was in love with Emma on like a deeper level than just friendship. Maybe not really sexually, get that vibe. But just, I want you to myself forever and ever always.
These fucking trucks. Anyway,
that's what I was getting.
Yeah, I wouldn't say in love. I think she's attached and obsessed with her in a sense of like she was the only, allegedly.
I mean, that's the only girl we ever see her
hang out with. Yeah. So apparently she's the only girl to ever have shown this girl a lick of kindness throughout her entire life. And they, the directors really didn't talk about Cecilia's family or anything like that. So we don't know what that was like. But I can, to an extent, I get it. Like, you know, I can empathize with the idea of like, this is the one person who makes me feel like I'm seen and like as a human being. And like, you can get attached to that person where it's like, okay, like everyone else is a threat. Like all the other friends are a threat because they're going to take me away from you. But it wasn't even like that though.
Emma was just as equally hyping Cecilia. Old friends to the end. They had the sister song. We made a pact. She the one who, when she ran into Cecilia, Emma's the one who told her, I was thinking about you. I was thinking about our pact that we made where we said we were going to be in nursing homes together, blah, blah, blah. Like, why are you bringing stuff like that up if you really like don't mean it, or what are you hoping to get from this girl? I also think she kind of liked having Cecilia. I think Emma liked having Cecilia, someone who was like that dedicated to her, and that kind of like attached to her. But that's not your friend, girl. When Alex started picking on her when y'all were young and she didn't say anything, and granted, I know as kids it's difficult sometimes, especially when you got the pop, because we failed to mention Alex is the popular rich girl. She's got money, she's got, fashion, all this style. So when they're showing these flashbacks of them as child, Cecilia's kind of a little unkempt. Her hair is like all over the place. Emma's got this fresh bob, and so does Alex. And so it's just kind of like, I'm gonna say this, and maybe it's because it's Black History Month. I also didn't like the fact that Cecilia was black and Emma was white and Alex was white, and she was letting Alex pick on her, and everybody else was white.
I mean, that's pretty realistic. All things considered, that's pretty realistic. But just side note, Kristen doesn't like anything where a black person is considered a villain or a victim or anything like that.
No, that's not true.
It is true. Anytime a black person dies in a movie, she will turn it off.
No. That is not true. That is actually like a whole lie.
It's about 60% true.
That it's not even.
There's a whole good ass show you were like, I can't watch it because the black person gets like.
What show was that?
Your Honor.
No, Your Honor made me upset because I was upset that a judge who is supposed to uphold the law was willing to bend the law for his son, which shows the whole problem with a society today. Because when it's a personal issue that affects you, we have elected human beings who have natural biases, and so when it comes to something that affects them, they're willing to bend it in their favor. That's what was pissing me off about that show. I couldn't watch it because it was too real. So I don't mind it because I listen. I have watched.
Look, I get it. We've had the worst. We should not be dying in movies.
I have watched some films, okay, where black people, and I'm like, well, that person got what was coming to them,
girl.
But it's not about that. It was just kind of like, why everybody else in the film, and then you
like I said, it's accurate.
Then you get engaged to a black woman.
Also accurate. I hate her, but I hate him, but I also want to control them or something like that. I don't fucking know.
I also want to love them. But yeah, so we have Cecilia, Emma, and Alex. I don't think Emma was. I think Emma was Cecilia's friend to a certain extent, but when she got the opportunity to choose clout or the friendship, she chose clout.
Again, realistic.
So when you're young, Alex was giving her gifts and all kinds of stuff. So that's that. Cecilia still hasn't healed. We're at the cabin, the vacation home. And then there are 3 other people. So there is Emma's fiance friend who is actually studying to become a therapist. So she's finishing up her PhD. And she's kind of giving a little pushback to Cecilia and what Cecilia does.
Which again is...
because she is studying...
TikTok.
To be an actual therapist. Right. And Cecilia is very forthcoming in saying, I'm not a therapist. I don't try to market myself as a therapist. I'm really just out here to try to make people feel seen and make people feel like they're not alone and that they are loved. So... Alex ain't liking that shit because she's just like, how are you out here when you literally tried to murder me? Like, how are you a mental health advocate when you're a psychopath? And then we have Jamie, who is the quintessential gay best friend.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember any of those people's names.
Jamie is the one with the
cane, right?
Yeah.
So he's very much the I hate to say this. He's a queen. He's the catty gay.
Yeah.
I'm a gay person. I can say that.
I'll let you say that. Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna be honest. He's probably my least favorite character, and no, it's not because he's gay. It's because he's actually kind of a bitch. Honestly, everyone in this movie is dislikable.
Everyone.
Actually, think about it. Everyone in this movie is unlikable.
Every single person, honestly. you really are trying to like root for someone, but you can't really
root for anybody. They're all trash. And then there's the other friend who is, I don't know her name.
Tracy.
Sure.
And she's just there.
Right.
She just likes to watch Love Island, which is the show. I don't know if that's a real show or not. I know
it is. It's a real show.
Isn't it on Netflix?
There's no such thing as Sex Island.
Oh,
I mean,
maybe
what you're looking up, but
no, I thought all they do on that show is have sex or try not to have sex.
I think that's it. I've never seen it. I know someone who watches it a lot for some reason.
So Tracy and Jamie actually seem. So you know how you have the pockets in the groups, the bigger groups. Tracy and Jamie are like their couple.
Right.
So they're friends with Emma and Alex, but Tracy and Jamie are actually best friends.
Right.
Like they do everything together. It's because they're both like shallow and catty and just all kind of stuff. So
right. So they all go up to the cabin / house. So of course we have Alex, the bully or former bully or still bully. Cecilia, the crazy psycho bitch. Emma, the passive aggressive instigator, and then we have the wife, Fran, and the two people who are not super important. Yeah. Honestly, I do feel really bad for those three because they were just They were just there. They were just there.
They definitely did get caught up in the crossfire.
But let me tell you, future husband, if you ever bring me into... I need to know all the tea before we get married, because you're not going to bring me to a cabin and be like, oh, my best friend from when we were younger actually wants to murder everybody. I'm not doing that. I will divorce you. I
really think it's strange that she didn't say anything to anyone, not even her fiance. Like, her fiance was like, her fiance even called her on it. Like, she was like, it's just kind of strange that you invited this girl whom I've never even heard you talk about.
I feel like the movie's general theme is about like trauma.
Absolutely. I
feel like from Emma's like point of view, like maybe seeing, I mean, as a child, I can't imagine seeing someone impaled in the face with a garden hoe. But so it probably was something that she just didn't talk about. Like, I wouldn't, if I was that age and I saw that, I probably wouldn't want to talk about it either. It'd probably be like one of those interesting stories I would bring up one day, but like, I wouldn't like actively be like, oh my God, I had this girl when I was younger who stabbed a girl in the face.
Emma didn't blame Cecilia though. She told her, she was like, you were a child. It wasn't your fault.
Right.
Because she did feel like Alex was bullying her. And, you know, to a certain extent, Cecilia did kind of snap it, so she doesn't feel like it was totally her fault. Like, it was just out of the blue, per se.
It could also it could be a hinge of guilt, where she's like, you know, maybe she wouldn't have did that if I didn't A, B, C, and D. So I can see why she wouldn't have brought it up. Now, I would say, like, I would have been a little creeped out about why you're bringing this random person you haven't seen in 14 years over to our cabin, but... so yes, they're caught in a crossfire. Just kind of run you through everyone's deaths because I think they're fucking hilarious.
Crossfire.
So mind you, Cecilia is the I don't want to say instigator, but she is the one killing most of these people. So she pushes old boy, the gay guy, off a cliff, and he ragdolls down that bitch. You hear me? That's where the budget went.
No, they had one mannequin.
They really did, and they threw her right off the cliff.
One opportunity, one shot, like Eminem. One shot. That's all they had, and they had to run with the footage.
And it looked good.
When I tell you, he hit everything.
Every cliff, every tree, every bush.
Bush, cliff, everything, rock.
Okay, mountain lion, all of it.
So, but this is after. So it just. I love when movies kind of do this a little bit, and it's kind of like it's almost like personification, but not really, because that personification is really more so like giving you feelings for inanimate objects, but they kind of like try to twist it to where you sort of have empathy for the villain.
I have no empathy for her.
Cecilia in this would technically be the villain. Even though some of the stuff did kind of seem like accidents or whatever, she would still be considered a villain, because what ends up happening is her and Alex get to tussling because Alex is, you know, provoking her and trying to out her to her followers on her phone. Alex steals her phone, goes live, and tries to out her to her followers. That was a bold move for someone who got stabbed in the face.
Yeah, not a smart move.
Not smart. Not smart if you knew this girl was capable of that. And she does this with no one else around. So, of course, Cecilia does what she needs to do and bye-bye, knocks Alex out and buries the body. So, yep. And then your boy Jamie kind of comes in. That director better count their days, because how the hell was Jamie outrunning Cecilia?
There's also another problem with it, because he pushes... So, yes. Cecilia knocks Alex out, puts her under the ground because she thought she was dead. Old boy... Jamie, I think he said, he walks through and he's like, oh my god, Cecilia, there you are, and then he finds the body, so he starts hobbling away, which, side note, he has, they didn't really define what he has, but he has one of those canes so that he has on one arm. I apologize if I don't understand what that is. You can correct me inside the comments.
Yeah, they don't specify what disorder he has. He's just a person with a disability.
So I don't think initially Cecilia wanted to actively just kill him. I don't think
so either.
So I think it was more so a situation where, like, he was just walking away and she was like, hey, just let's listen to me, just talk to me, right?
They try to make it fit you.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he was trying to outrun. I mean, yes, he wanted to get away from her, but I don't think she was, like, gonna tackle him at first. The only time she actively became, like, oh, I'm gonna murder you now, was when other people were coming up, and she was like, well, either I let you live and then you tell everyone, or I push you off this cliff. The weird thing is, later in the movie, Alex wakes up because she's actually not dead, and she finds Jamie, who's like a couple yards away from her, at the bottom of the cliff. So that means old boy walked up the cliff, and Cecilia followed him up the cliff, and then she pushed him off the cliff.
Yeah.
Which, anyway,
questions that need answers. But
it's fine.
You know what?
Then we move on to our next death, which is the death of Tracy. Like I said, they weren't really important. They were just there for
they
extra
literally
scenes.
were just extra frames,
right?
To add a little razzle.
Extra death, right? So, she finds Cecilia in the house. Well, actually, we phrase that. She's already in the house. Cecilia comes back. She's like, "Oh my god, Alex tried to kill me," because she wants to, like, frame Alex. She
self-harmed herself
to make it look like
she was attacked.
Right. So, she takes her to the bathroom and she's like, okay, let's get you cleaned up. Like, it's going to be okay. Things are fine. Like, because at this point, everyone knows about, like, what happened between the two of them, and they see how Alex treats her. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that Alex would have snapped.
Yeah, she's not even not believing her. She's
right.
like, it's going to be fine.
Right.
Everything's going to be okay.
Everything's cool. So they're in the bathroom. One thing leads to another. Cecilia gets a little suspicious about, does she really believe her or not? And then Cecilia ends up pushing her into the bathtub, and her hair gets caught in the drainer. And then via her struggling of trying to not drown, she scalps herself.
She gets scalped and just
skiz out. Just scalp in the bathtub.
Like a whirlpool tub. Oh, that was tough.
It was a lot. Which, I mean, in my personal opinion, I understand being freaked out and stressing out, but, like, if you had just, like, stayed still, there wasn't enough water in there where you would have drowned. If you just stayed still and, like, put your lips up, you would have breathed. But I get panic.
It was the hair.
Panic is one thing.
Her hair got caught in the whirl. That's why it was pulling her.
I thought it just got stuck in it. I didn't know it was like actively pulling her under.
Yeah, it was whirling. So like it was. That's how she ended up getting scalped. Oh, but Alex, I mean, Cecilia could have pressed the button to cut it off, but she did not.
So another kill for Cecilia.
Another kill for Cecilia playing Call of Duty.
Which then leads to the next scene, which is the very next scene, which is honestly my favorite scene because it was wild.
It would be.
It was insane. So Cecilia's like, okay, shit's really hitting the fan. I've murked 3 people now. I have got to go.
Hell out of Dodge.
So she gets in the car. She's speeding down the highway, and then lo and behold, it's Fran, the wife, who was out looking for everyone else because everyone's just disappearing.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh my God, Cecilia, so happy to see you. Like, thank God you're here, or whatever." So she gets in the car, and Cecilia starts to floor it. And when you floor a car, you brake heavy, the seatbelt lock is going to lock, and you can't move that seatbelt. Mm-hmm. So she's speeding down the highway or road, this dark ass road with, old girl in the passenger seat with no seatbelt. They flash the odometer, it's going like 140, and Cecilia's just going on and on about like, it's not fair that you get to have Emma. And
that's what I'm saying.
All that
she was
stuff.
telling that was supposed to be me. We were supposed to be in the hold folks home together.
Again, I don't take that as romantic. I take that more of like a.
I don't think it's romantic, like sexual, but I do think she had more feelings for her than friendship. I think there's like a gray area there where it was like, I don't want anybody else to have, like, you're mine. No one else can have obsession. You. Yeah.
So, you know, she's speeding down the road, and Fran is like, "Girl, can you like not? Can we chill? Like, we're fine. It's cool." And then she's like, "You want me to stop?" And she slams the brakes. Woo! Girl flung out the windshield.
Through the windshield.
And then she inevitably runs her over because she wanted to put her out of her misery. And then we come back to the house. This is the next scene. So now Cecilia has now killed 3 people officially. Alex, she thought she killed, but again, she has risen back from the dead. When Alex came back from the dead, but she didn't really come back from the dead. She just never actually died.
She wasn't dead, yeah.
She called the police. Just keep in mind, the police are en route at this point. So she gets back to the house. Cecilia pulls her, manipulative bullshit and makes it look like she, got beat up.
This is Emma. Emma gets back to the house.
They both get back to the house. So Cecilia gets back first and she beats herself up a little bit. Yeah. So it looks like she got scuffed up some more. Mm-hmm. And then Emma comes in and she's like, "Oh my God, Cecilia, what happened? Are you okay?" And she blames it on Alex. She's like, "Alex went rampage and she killed so many people."
And she believes her at first.
At first.
Until she sees the necklace.
Right. So Alex and Emma had best friend necklaces. And then Cecilia being the fucking psycho she is, she put on the necklace. She's like, "That's my best friend." She's like, "Why would you have that?" So she retaliates, but of course, in normal, silly horror movie tropes, she gets caught. Inevitably, that leads to Cecilia and Emma having a deep conversation about what their friendship was, ultimately deciding that Cecilia was like, "You were never my friend. You were just a two-faced shady bitch who doesn't deserve my..." Right.
You never saw me.
That leads into a scuffle, and then Alex, again, who's not being dead, she comes in and tries to save her friend, or so she thought. Because while Emma was beat across the head, that fucked with her vision. So she clobbers? Whatever. She clobs who she thought was Cecilia. She beats this girl's ass with her walking stick that she found near old boy's body earlier. Just beating his ass. Beating her, just slamming that thing in there. Ooh-wee. Face disfigured. And then her vision clears up just enough to see that that's not Cecilia. That is Emma. And then let's not forget, the cops were also right there. On the way. So they shoot her in the head, but also at the same time, you flash over to the left and you see Cecilia right there with her phone recording.
Yep.
The whole thing.
To letting her followers know, because earlier she went live to tell her followers to call for help, that this girl, Alex Kustoff or whatever her name was in the movie, has murdered all of her friends and is now trying to kill her. So she's already created a narrative.
Right.
And then you hear her whisper, "Thank you."
Yep. So Cecilia, being the psycho crazy person she is, she accidentally orchestrated the downfall of her bully, and then she became a New York Times bestselling novel. With
10 million followers.
With 10 million followers, because her followers were like, "Oh my God, this is such a crazy story! Like how this whole household full of people died," and she's back to posting videos about healing or whatever, and
your imaginary
has a book, right? So, yeah, overall, wild movie. I really enjoyed it. Everyone in there, I would not say are friends. Honestly, I would even say the wives were even friends. Everyone treats each other like shit. Honestly, in this movie, it's shallow friendships. It's one of those, like, it's the face value, like, we're just there to have a good time and giggle. But, like, if it really came down to it, they would not be there for each other.
Yeah, I mean, they did care in the sense that they were looking for each other, but there is no way you're going to have, this is what I will say, because you can truly care about someone but not have a true, honest respect for them. There is no way you respect someone and not inform them of something that serious ahead of time. Like, there's no way Emma could have really respected the friendship she had with Alex and cared for it enough and care for Alex as a person enough to not inform her ahead of time that she was bringing an assault persecutor to this thing, to her home. Like, period.
Also, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Alex is a bona fide rich white woman. Ain't no way she didn't sue that family. That girl should be in juvenile prison.
Well, she probably, I mean, you said we never saw her family, so she probably didn't have much.
That's fair. They sued her
yeah,
for all
they probably put her in
the 2002 Honda Pilot, and
they probably put her in like a facility for a little bit.
They never really say it.
Yeah, right. They never really talk about what we don't even ever see it flash into her talking to anybody about the event other than Emma. So yeah, she just doesn't. There's
a lot of potholes. There's a few things we didn't really get to know, but overall, I enjoyed the movie. If there's anything I learned from the movie, is just watch the company you keep. Okay. Watch how people move. You know, if people talk about you a certain way,
say what you feel. Because if you feel uncomfortable with something, because I would have had to tell Emma, she got to go. This is your weekend, and I love you, and I want you to have a good time. But she can take that Astro van right on back up to the city because she's not staying in my house. And making me feel uncomfortable. Okay. Like, absolutely not. Like, nah, Doc. And watch out for people who always take on people as projects. And you can tell when someone takes someone as a project. We talk a lot about women who take men on as projects and build them up. But people do that as friends. People do that as friends too. So watch out for people who do that, because there's an underlayer meaning behind why they are taking these people on that they feel like they can fix.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, Sissy wasn't a sissy though.
She was not. But yeah, so that
would you be friends with anyone in the film?
Absolutely fucking not.
You wouldn't be friends with Sissy, girl.
Alex is a bitch. Sissy's fucking insane.
But if you're her friend, she wasn't gonna kill Emma until Emma turned on her.
No, I'm good. Cause then she gonna kill everybody I care about. So you want me to be friends with Sissy so she can murder you because she wants me to herself?
Oh, you know who will survive, and it ain't Sissy, girl.
So no, I would not. Fuck all them bitches. Every single last one of them. They all deserve to die. Actually, I would be friends with Fran. I'm not gonna lie. I do like Fran.
Fran was kind of cool. Fran was
She was the wife. She's just there. She didn't really do much, honestly. She was just kind of there.
Yeah.
So, her, and again, maybe because she's black, but anyway, now, how about you? Would you be friends with any of them?
No.
Exactly. No. They're all awful. No, they're awful.
Tracy and Jamie weren't awful. They were just shallow. They were just they were oblivious, is what they were, because Tracy was inside watching that television show, and it was a whole bunch of shit going on outside of the house that she wasn't even aware of because she was just intrigued with the show. And actually, no, I couldn't be friends with Tracy because she looked for Jamie all of 15 minutes and he said, I'm going back inside because the show was coming on.
I'm done.
So nah, I couldn't be friends with anybody.
Oh well. Well, yeah, so that is our discussion for the day. Thank you, everyone, so much again for hopping into another episode of the Friendship University podcast. And, Kristen, can you give the folks our socials?
Wow.
How are you not ready for this?
How are you not ready for this?
I've never done the socials, that's why.
And now you could probably start.
No, there's no time like the never. So in the meantime, I'm just pulling those up.
If you get an opportunity to watch the film Sissy, is it called Sissy or is it called Odd Girl?
It's called Sissy. Okay. Odd Girl. That's a whole other show.
I think it's a film.
Whatever. Her too.
But if you get an opportunity to watch the film Sissy, just let us know what you think about it. And
7-day free trial on Shudder.
Okay. Get into it. If you're a horror fanatic or you like thriller, suspense, Shudder seems like a pretty dope app to get into. It's not super expensive. What was it, like $4.99 a month?
That's too much. I'm tired of paying for subscriptions. I'm not paying for another subscription.
And that was with no ads, so that's pretty cool. But you can hit us up. We are on Twitter at Funny Podcast. That's FUNI Podcast. We're also on Instagram, Friendship University. And you can email us, friendshipuniversitypodcast@gmail.com. We're always looking for new topics and different things that you like to hear us discuss. Also, we haven't been asking for any monetary donations. We do have a link tree that's on all of our social media handles, but something that you could do that could really help us out is just leave us a review wherever you're listening. Give us 5 stars. Leave some comments. Just let the people know how you're liking the podcast. That can definitely help amp us up to get us more resources to continue to do this for you all week after week. Any final words?
Not at all.
Wow. Okay then. Well, we're out.
Bye.